another Joe Go review. The bow tie today is my Metamorpho bow tie, because we're still talking Superman toys from the 2025 Superman movie, and my quest to find all the Superpowers line of Superman toys. And I'll tell you all about my search and let you know if the figures and sets I got are a Joe Go or a no-go. Picking up from part 1 of my search for Superman, I found plenty of Metamorpho figures and other figures, but I still could not find Superman. No Superman in sight. But I did take a summer vacation to Portland, and I hoped that with a whole new city of Target and GameStops, I would be able to find the Man of Steel. Now I know what you might be thinking. You're thinking, Joe, I could go online right now to McFarlane's website and buy all of the toys that you're looking for in one click. And I say to that, what's the fun in that? There's no better feeling than being in a toy store, seeing the toy, holding the toy, and walking out of the store with your toy purchase. What are you gonna do instead? Go online, click on a site, and wait for a brown box in the mail? That's boring! Go in a store and shop for toys, support in-store toy shopping. And I was so excited to see all the awesome toy store offerings in Portland, especially their vintage toy stores. And when I say vintage toys, I'm mainly talking about toys from the 80s and 90s. That's right, you're looking at someone whose childhood is vintage. My first stop was Dr. Tong's I Had That Shop, which is a great name for a vintage toy store. So often I'll go into a store like this and say, I had that! And they had so many toys that I used to have. They even had the Superpowers toys all in their original packaging. And boy, I'm glad I still have most of my Superpowers toys, because buying back your childhood can set you back. And my son loves playing with my Superpowers line of toys, but when he saw them there at Dr. Tong's, he had to point out just how much I was missing from my figures. Hey Dad, your Lex doesn't have that awesome armor. Hey Dad, your Dr. Fate doesn't have that cape. Your Martian Manhunter doesn't have that cape either. Yes, I know, son, I'm missing a lot of capes. They're all gone. But I'm not gonna spend $200 just to get a cape. Not in this economy. Dr. Tong also has an awesome wall of action figures, many of which won't break the bank, so I highly recommend checking out Dr. Tong's I Had That Shop if you're in Portland, and go see what you used to have. The next vintage toy store we went to was Rogue Toys. They also had an amazing selection, and they had a lot of used toys too. They even had the 1995 Batcave. Now this is a seminal toy for me because it signified the end of my childhood. I remember it well. I was 13 and I bought this awesome Batcave with my own money. I thought finally a Batcave that looks like a Batcave and not another usual Wayne Manor that unfolds into a Batcave, but a playable Batcave. I was so excited, I brought it over to my friend's house to show him, and his dad came in, saw me with the Batcave and said, "Aren't you too old to be playing with toys?" He said that to me! I was so embarrassed, so much so that I put the Batcave back in the box and returned it to Toys R Us. I brought it to the cashier and said, yeah, this was a gift and I already had one, so I want to return it. The cashier looked at the obviously open box and said, there's stickers on this Batcave. I said, it came like that. It didn't come like that. I put those stickers on so precisely by myself. I was so heartbroken to be giving this Batcave back. But they ended up taking back this $100 toy and in essence, ending my childhood. But 30 years later, I now have 3 different Lego Batcaves and Toys R Us is out of business. I don't know. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Sorry about the open merchandise return. Rogue Toys was a worthwhile stop. They have lots of toys you can play with in there. They also had the current Superpowers line, but still no Superman in sight. So it was off to the nearest Target and GameStop to see if we could find Superman. And the Target we went to, while it didn't have any Superpowers figures, it did have Mr. Terrific's T-Craft on clearance. It was on sale. And Oregon doesn't have any sales tax. So it was like a double sale. I was happy to pick up Mr. Terrific's T-Craft, though I will say there's a lot of false advertising on the T-Craft. On all sides of the box, it shows off landing gear. There's no landing gear on Mr. Terrific's T-Craft. Yes, Mr. Terrific does fit inside, but it would have been nice to have that landing gear. Still, I gotta give it a Jogo though. I love that vintage packaging. The other playset from the Superpowers line is the Fortress of Solitude. Now I really want this set, especially Gary the Robot. And as you can assume, the figures are sold separately. And I'm trying desperately to find the figures. Now I know that Superman is theoretically out there to purchase, but exactly where can I get Gary the Robot? Come to find out that Gary the Robot is only available in the gold label version of the Fortress of Solitude. What? Why even show Gary on this box? That means if you bought this Fortress of Solitude first and then wanted to seek out Gary, you're buying a second Fortress of Solitude. Your first Fortress of Solitude won't be so alone. Okay, back to my quest for Superman. We took our T-Craft that we got from Target and we went next door to the GameStop, and lo and behold, we found him! There he was! Superman! They had him! The very first GameStop we went to in Portland had all the figures! We did it! We got Superman! It was an amazing feeling to walk out of that store with my son with the figure that we had been searching for this whole time. You can't get that feeling online shopping, I'll tell you that. And yes, now I have all the figures of the Superpowers line of Superman toys. And yeah, it's a Jogo! At this point I would say go out and get yourself these figures, but good luck trying to find them. I do wish that these figures, much like the original Superpowers toys, had accessories, but I'm just glad that the Justice Gang can now join my Justice League figures and my son can play out all new adventures between Mr. Terrific and Brainiac. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and a big thank you to those that have already subscribed. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.